Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for today's video tutorial. We're going to talk about how to write and graph inequalities today. Okay, and we're going to start with the vocab inequality. The prefix in would mean not. So if we have an inequality, we're talking about something that's not equal, right? So an inequality is a mathematical sentence that compares expressions. It's comparing, maybe we could use something a little bit simpler to think about that. Here's Mr. Gillis, and here is a middle school student. If we are talking about their height, we would say that Mr. Gillis is greater than this middle school student in terms of height. Okay, I am taller than this student. It's just comparing two things. It contains the symbols less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. That's what that line under means, is or equal to. To write word sentences as an inequality, look for the following phrases to determine where to place the inequality symbol. So here are those key phrases that can definitely help you when we go from a word sentence to a math expression. Okay, so use this table, maybe put a star by it. That'll help you when you're writing these inequalities. Okay, so for example, less than is some of the key phrases that you'll see is less than or is fewer than, and so on and so forth. Remember the less than symbol, if you kind of tilt your head a little bit, if you were to tilt this symbol a little bit this way, it makes the letter L. So that's how you think about the word less than. And that's how you remember that one's less than and this one's greater than. Okay. Also remember, another way to think about this is Pac-Man eats the bigger number. So this is Pac-Man's mouth. He will eat the bigger number. So for instance, like 18 and 9. 9 is less than 18. 18 eats, or Pac-Man eats the bigger number. Some people, maybe their math teacher said the alligator eats the bigger number. Whatever it is, same idea. So let's try to write an inequality. We have a word sentence here. We want to write it as a math expression or a math inequality. It says a number Q. Okay, I'm going to start with that. Plus 5, okay, and addition sign 5, is less than or equal to. Is less than or equal to. We come over here to our symbols chart. Is less than or equal to matches up with this symbol. So is less than or equal to. And then we end with the number negative 7.9. Okay, so that's really all we need to do for those types of problems is take the word sentence and write it as an inequality. I think it helps a little bit to color code like I did here. Q is red, plus 5 in blue, is less than or equal to is the symbol, and then that number. So that's it. That's all we have to do. Why don't you pause and try 1 and 2 the same way. All right, number X, okay, really easy, is at least, so is at least is a key phrase that tells me to do what? Do you see is at least? Oh, yeah, right here is at least is greater than or equal to. So greater than or equal to, and then my number is negative 10. So X is greater than or equal to negative 10. Next one, we have twice a number Y. So to say that, we'd say 2Y. That means twice a number Y, so it's 2 times Y. Is more than, we come right here. We see that that's a key phrase to say greater than. Okay, and then negative 5 halves. Oops, try to change my color here. And there we have it. That's all we need to do is write that inequality. If you have questions on either of those two, let me know. A little bit of vocab now. It says a solution of an inequality. Remember, solution is kind of another way to say answer, is the value that makes the inequality true. An inequality can have more than one solution. The set of all solutions of an inequality is called the solution set. So different than like an equation where you have one answer, an inequality could have many answers. So here's an example. If we were to use this expression, x plus 2 is less than or equal to negative 1. We are looking to see if these different values of x make this inequality true. So what we do is we would substitute in our value of x, negative 2, plus 2, and we're going to see, does that make this inequality true? Well, negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Is 0 less than or equal to negative 1? And the answer is no. Pac-Man should eat the 0 because 0 is bigger than a negative number. What if we changed our x value to negative 3 though? So I'm substituting in negative 3 for x this time. Plus 2 is less than or equal to negative 1. Is this true? Well, negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Is negative 1 less than or equal to negative 1? And yeah, it is because it's equal to. So that's how you can see they got yes. And then the same for negative 4. So negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2, and that is less than negative 1. So yes, that's true. So both of these values would make this inequality true. So that's why it says an inequality can have more than one solution. These would both be solutions to that inequality. So let's check and see if we can do that in a couple problems. Tell whether negative 2 is a solution of y minus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 6. So again, we need to substitute negative 2 for y. Okay, so I'd get negative 2 minus 5 is greater than or equal to negative 6. Well, what is negative 2 minus 5? Well, I'm going to change my subtraction to addition and the next to its opposite. So that would give me negative 7. Is negative 7 greater than or equal to negative 6? Well, no, it is not a solution. Because, remember, if this is my number line, say this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, right? I'm going to skip a few. This would be negative 6, this would be negative 7. If I'm comparing negative 6 and negative 7, which numbers to the right are always greater? So negative 6 is greater than negative 7. Here, this is saying negative 7 is greater than negative 6. No, it's not. I would rather be in debt $6 than $7. So negative 6 is more than negative 7. So negative 2 is not a solution. You do that similar for letter B. Substitute in negative 2 for y. This says negative 5.5 times y. Okay, so that would be negative 5.5 times negative 2 is less than 14. Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. 5.5 times 2 is 11. So is 11 less than 14? Yes, it is. So yes, negative 2 is a solution of that inequality. Go ahead and substitute negative 5 for these values, 3, 4, and 5. Pause the video now to see if you get the correct answer. All right. Negative 5 plus 12 is greater than 7. Well, negative 5 plus 12 is 7. Is 7 greater than 7? No, it's not. It's equal, but it's not greater than. Number 4 here, I've got 1 minus 2 times negative 5 is less than or equal to negative 9. Okay, so that would give me 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So 1 minus, when I multiply here, I get negative 10 less than or equal to negative 9. 1 minus negative 10, I'm going to change my subtraction to addition, and the next number to its opposite. So 1 plus 10 is 11. Is 11 less than or equal to negative 9? No, it's not. It's greater than negative 9. And then ending with number 5, negative 5 divided by 2.5. Again, we're substituting negative 5 in for our variable. Is that less than or equal to negative 3? Well, a negative divided by a positive is a negative. And 5 divided by 2.5 is 2. 2.5 goes into 5 twice. Is 2 greater than or equal to negative 3? And yes, it is. It is true because I'd rather be in debt $2 than in debt $3. So negative 2 is greater than negative 3. Again, line it up on the number line and you'll see it's further to the right. A little bit of more vocabulary. It seems like we have quite a bit this section of vocab, but at least you don't have to memorize it. You can come back and look at it. It says the graph of an inequality shows all the solutions on a number line. So that's what we're going to practice here for the last few examples. An open circle is used when a number is not a solution, and a closed circle is used when a number is a solution. An arrow to the left or to the right shows the graph continues in that direction. So, in other words, I'd write this down if I were you. If you're using less than or greater than, that means you need to use an open circle. If you're using less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, that means you need to use a closed circle. So like this, when you graph it on a number line. And I'll show you how to do that here. Okay. So number 3 says a rock climber's sleeping bag is recommended for temperatures no less than negative 15 degrees Celsius. So it's recommended for temperatures no less than negative 15 degrees Celsius. Whew. If it's under negative 15 degrees Celsius, that is cold. I would hope you wouldn't be out in that type of weather. But this person looks pretty serious sleeping on the sleeping bag that's suspended from a rock cliff. No thanks. Write and graph an inequality that represents the recommended temperatures for the sleeping bag. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is write that inequality. Okay. Well, the recommended temperatures, the sleeping bag is recommended for temperatures no less than negative 15. So the temperatures can vary, so I'll call that T. Temperatures no less than. So no less than would mean greater than or equal to negative 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, so here is my inequality. T is greater than or equal to negative 15. Because if your temperature was like 0, that would be okay because 0 is greater than or equal to negative 15. But if it were something like negative 32, negative 32 is freezing, especially in Celsius, that is not greater than or equal to negative 15, so that the sleeping bag would not keep you warm. Right? Now, since we have that inequality wrote down, we need to graph it. Okay, So you need to make a number line. And I like to tell students to start with my number. So I'm starting with negative 15. And then I need to think about what numbers are greater than that and what numbers are less than that. Well, take a peek at the number line in the back of the room if you need to, but numbers greater than that would be negative 14, negative 13, negative 12. I'm approaching 0. Numbers that are smaller would be negative 16, negative 17, negative 18. Right, I'm getting more negative as I go to the left. Now, the next piece of the puzzle is I need to determine, am I going to use an open circle or a closed circle when I graph this? Well, my inequality is greater than or equal to. So anytime I have that or equal to, I need to use a closed circle at negative 15 is my number. So I'm going to shade that in. And the inequality is where the temperatures are greater than or equal to that. So when I'm talking about greater than, I need to shade to the right. And I use an arrow. Some students like to shade by putting a squiggly and then an arrow. That works good too. Okay? This says t is greater than or equal to negative 15, so I would shade to the right when I'm talking about numbers greater than. Numbers to the right are always greater than numbers to the left. Okay, so there's my inequality graphed. If you need more help graphing inequalities, I'll be glad to help you. All right, for the more practice section here, go ahead and pause the video now to try these 3. All right, so for number 8, negative 4, yes, would be a solution. 9, no, it would not. And 10, no, it would not. Please let me know if you have questions on any of those. All right, that does it for section 4.4 and writing and graphing inequalities. Thanks for checking out this tutorial. I'll see you guys later.